My name is Hayden Baker and welcome back to Hayden Cinema, and today we're going to be talking about Final Destination Bloodlines. So Final Destination Bloodlines is about a woman who is in college and she is being haunted by this nightmare that is basically ruining her life and putting her life at a just complete halt. And then she comes to realize that it is actually the premonition of her grandmother from decades before, and is soon to find out that her entire bloodline is now being haunted by Death himself. Before we get into my review, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and share the video as well, and make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you stay up to date with all of my posts, and you can now go and watch all 5 of the previous films. I have reviews for those. I will be putting a playlist up here. Make sure you watch those. So getting right into the nitty gritty, me and my dad actually went and watched this film, and this film now has a special place in my heart because it is the first movie that me and my dad have watched together in a long time, but also the first movie we have watched together in theater, just me and him, and it is the first Final Destination movie I have seen in theaters. So to kick this thing off with the good, the characters. I will say the characters in this movie are awesome, just through and through fantastic. I loved almost every single one except for the main. I'll get into that later in my mixed feelings, but most of the characters in this movie are amazing, and you find yourself very able to invest yourself into these characters and to care for them. And whenever they go to get killed, you're like, oh man, now? But okay, it's really good kills. Again, there's some really good kills here. There's a lot of things about this movie, and I'm so excited to tell you guys that this is one of the best Final Destination movies. It's not the best, but it's one of the best. Also, with the characters, we have here a character that I'm probably going to say is my favorite character of the entire franchise, who goes by the name of Eric. And Eric delivers the funniest lines. And it's not even forced, it's more situational, I guess. And so you have this character Eric, he's one of the brothers, and he's hilarious, and he's an amazing character, and there's even a tearjerker scene with him later on. But yeah, I was so surprised to have a character like that in this movie. Also, in my opinion, that most of the kills here are some of my favorite Final Destination kills of all time. Seriously, they are pretty good. And if you know me, you know I don't like CGI. But with this franchise, I've come to accept it. And that's not me kissing the movie's ass because it's new or anything. I genuinely gave up. But yeah, it's just something I've come to accept with these movies, that you're just going to have shitty CGI every now and then. And I'm okay with that. With this franchise, 4 is not acceptable. The worst I will go is this movie in part 5. Yeah, some of the kills are really freaking great, and it has completely ruined MRIs for me. Thankfully, I've never had to get an MRI, but I can tell you, if I do ever have to give one, God forbid, I'm gonna be terrified. They're probably gonna have to put me to sleep. Also, the story here is, while being run-of-the-mill and kind of the same beat-for-beat story that we get with all these movies, it is pretty unique with the Bloodlines aspect, with that concept, and it does work with that concept very well. It does have a lot to do with that, and I think that it feels very genuine and very natural the way they go with it, and it doesn't feel forced. Same with like what I was saying with Eric's character in the comedy. None of this stuff feels forced or just thrown together and thrown in. Also, Tony Todd's character does fabulous in this, and it's honestly, get a little choked up about it. Me and my dad almost did watching it, but he says goodbye in this movie. He says his goodbyes because he was sick. He knew he was sick, and he knew that, this is it. But the way his character is utilized, and they make it work narratively very well. They give him an origin that makes sense. Again, nothing is forced in this movie, so not even him, as he is in most of the other movies. He's not even really forced in this movie either. And so that was really amazing to see, and to see his origin unfold, and to be able to actually see the origin, not even be told it, but actually see it, was really nice. And that goodbye, man, that goodbye, it really got me, and it still get me, and his utilization in the movie is really well done. And the last thing I will say about my positives is the opening premonition might be my favorite premonition. I got something else to say about it that's going to be in the mix of negatives, but as far as the premonition sequence alone, it is among the best. It is one of my favorites. I thought it was awesome in every way. So definitely be looking forward to that if you haven't seen the film already. Now moving on into the mixed. Again, the CGI is pretty heavy in this movie, and of course, you know me, I don't like CGI. I'm going to fuss about it, but I got to. That's what I do. Like I said, I have come to accept it. It doesn't go crazy. That's why it's in the mixed. It does work a lot more than it doesn't work. I will say that, but there are some heavy times where it doesn't work. Also, in my mixed, I was not as invested in our main character. Now, I said in the beginning that there are some characters that I don't really care for. Our main character, our main protagonist that we're following in the movie, I don't care for. Also, the last thing I will say about my mix is that the way that they introduce the grandmother, besides the premonition, the way they introduce her in present day, I was not a fan of, because she's like held up in this. She's like in the same way that Clear Rivers is um, secluded and like away from society, and she's in that pillow room. This woman's like the same way, but the complete opposite. She's got stakes, and just it looks very barricaded by all these dangerous things. And I kind of tried to make sense of it in my head, but to be honest, I'm not. I'm done trying to make sense of that. It honestly, it felt stupid to me. And now moving on to the downside, and honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say here, but the last the opening 3 minutes of the movie felt like 20 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably a whole 10-minute sequence, and it felt like forever. Seriously, like it felt like it took 20 minutes to get through the first three. Like from the time that the movie opens to the time they get into Skyview, it's maybe 3 minutes, and it felt like 20. The third act might be 5 minutes long, and it is the weakest third act I've seen in the entire franchise. It's not horrible by any means. I mean that in, it doesn't hold a whole lot of weight. And I'm not talking about 4. 4 is the bottom of the barrel. So I'm sorry, not the weakest of the franchise, the second weakest. But yeah, this ending has no weight to it whatsoever. It has nothing there. The last 4 minutes are pretty awesome, but the first 5 minutes or so of it, it's just okay. We're doing this again. Okay, and I just don't like that. That's not what I signed up for. You had this movie that is so great up until that point, and you're like, seriously, like y'all couldn't open for nothing, and y'all can't close for nothing. But I'll tell you what, those whole 8 minutes combined, everything else in between it is pretty top notch. So it is what it is, I guess. But it would be nice if, well, I assume we're probably gonna get a seventh film in the next 5 years or so. So if they could really just hit strong in the opening before the premonition and hit strong in the closing act of these movies, that could possibly be the best of the franchise. But as far as this one goes, it's not quite there, but it is almost there. Overall, I'm going to give Final Destination 6 Bloodlines a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a pretty good entry in this franchise. I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of it. What did you think about Final Destination 6 Bloodlines? Let me know down in the comments, and I can't wait to talk about this movie with you. What is your favorite Final Destination movie? I will be having my Final Destination movie rankings out probably today, so keep an eye out for that. You can follow me on all of my social medias. They'll all be linked down in the description below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, that way you stay up to date with all of my posts. Be sure to like and share this video as well. That really helps me out. And I'll see y'all next time. I hope you enjoy watching this video just as much as I enjoyed making it for you.